it's Izzy here, and today I am going to take y'all book shopping with me, but we're going to be doing it online. So let's get into this video. Roses, their debut album, I think it's one of the best-selling albums of all time. Okay guys, so we are on Book of the Month's website. Now as you can see right here, I've already ordered my August box because I completely forgot that this is my video that was scheduled. But we're going to go through this and discuss how I would choose a book and how I did choose the book that I chose. So our choices this month, our first choice is The Unraveling of Cassidy, Holmes by Alyssa R. Sloan. This is a contemporary fiction novel. So instantly that is something that I'm not that interested in. It is a debut, which, yeah, it's her first book. And it is an early release. You can get books earlier on Book of the Month. So it says a journey through the dark side of pop music that illustrates the dangers and tragedies that come with celebrity. So I don't like pop music, so that's one thing where I'm like, but music in general, I think is a very fascinating business and dark, and I wouldn't want to be in that business, but the cover did stand out to me. So we're going to click it. I click all of them, so don't think it's, I don't. It is 400 plus pages, which is a lot. So I would physically read this if it's less than 500. It just says plus 400, so who knows? Multiple viewpoints. I do like when books are multiple viewpoints. Non-linear timeline. It depends how it's done, but I do like that some of the times. It says movie-ish. And then FYI, this is a content warning for this book, includes descriptions of assault, depression, and self-harm. That is hard to read, but it is something that I can read. It doesn't trigger me. So I usually don't read these why I love it, but you can see it remind her of Daisy Johnson's Six, which is one of my favorite books. And it said it also brought to mind the tragic, relentless gossip mag coverage of Britney Spears' meltdown. So it sounds like a rough read if both of those are comparisons. So we have our description of the book here. Cassidy Holmes isn't just a celebrity. She is Sassy Gloss, the fourth member of the hottest pop group America has ever seen. So I do like a band aspect. So hotter than Britney Spears dancing with a snake, hotter than Christina getting dirty. Gloss was the pop act that everyone idolized. Fans couldn't get enough of them. Their music and the drama that followed them like moths to a flame until the group's sudden implosion in 2002. And at the center of it all is Sassy Cassie, the Texan with a signature smirk that had everyone falling for her. So, but now she's dead, suicide. So, obviously a trigger warning right there in the synopsis. So, I kind of get Spice Girl vibes too, because they all have Sassy in the name. And what was the group's name? Gloss. So they all have sassy, so it's like, what kind of sassy are you? So it's the other band members apparently talking about it and finding out how this downfall happened, which I do think that could be a really interesting book, and I may choose it for my next month. It looks like I did choose it for my next month. So then our next book is a sci-fi. It is The Space Between Worlds by Micah Johnson. I may be pronouncing the name wrong. So this is a debut author as well. So congrats to him and congrats to our first author. So sci-fi is a hit or miss for me. It depends how it's done and all of that, because sci-fi is so different. So you can do so many different things with it, because you're making up your own universe and all that. Well, not necessarily. It could be Earth set 500 years in the future or something. So, but still, you're basically creating a lot of it on your own. When in the contemporary, that was, they said Texan, so it's set in the United States. you can't really do that much. So sci-fi, you have to be very committed, which obviously you're in a contemporary, you're committed as well. But you guys know what I mean. So the quick take is the multiverse sci-fi blends social commentary with mind-boggling ideas like seeing yourself in a parallel universe. Parallel universe, I love that. So this book covers social issues. Now, what kind it does not say. It is LGBTQ plus friendly, which is always good, and we love to see that. It's action packed. Again, that can be something that's hit or miss for me because you can be having so much action at once, and I don't comprehend anything because it's all action and no real plot other than that. So I would have to read it to know. And then there is a quest, which sometimes a quest can be fun. So again, I don't really read these all the way through. So y'all can pause if you want to read it. But yeah, it says this book is just so incredibly rich, layer upon layer of intricate world building. So world building is always good for a fantasy or sci-fi that envelops you from page one. It's a, it's an ideal read for sci-fi lovers. I would hope so, since it's sci-fi, especially those who like the stories with generous helping of angst-ridden love affairs. So it does sound like this person enjoyed it, and I do like there's a lot. It's rich. It's layer upon layer, is what it says, and that is only as good for a sci-fi or fantasy novel. So we will read like the first paragraph here. It says multiverse travel is finally possible, but there's this one catch. No one can visit a world where their counterpart is still alive. Enter Kara, whose parallel selves happen to be exceptionally good at dying from disease, turf wars, and vendettas they cannot outrun. Kara's life has been cut short on 372 worlds in total. Now that would scare me. I'm like, if all my counterparts are dying, I must be able to die really easily or whatever. So on Earth, however, Kara has survived, identified as an outlier and therefore a perfect candidate for the multiverse travel. Kara is plucked from the dirt of the wastelands. Now she has a nice apartment on the lower levels of the wealthy, walled off Wiley city. She works and shamelessly flirts with her enticing yet aloof handler, Dell, as the two women collect off-world data for the Eldridge Institute. She even occasionally leaves the city to visit her family in the Wastes, though she struggles to feel at home in either place, so long as she can keep her head down and avoid trouble. Kara is on a sure path to citizenship and security. So I do think that sounds really interesting. I like the wastelands and then the city aspect. I would like to know how that happened. So I do think this does sound like an interesting book. And you can look at the first pages of these books, but I don't like doing that because I want a surprise. So our next book is a thriller. Thrillers have been my favorite this year. Thrillers aren't something I necessarily always pick up, but when I do end up really enjoying them. So this is The Night Swim by Megan Golden. This is a thriller for those who eat, sleep, and breathe true crime. A podcaster cracks open a small town cold case. Sounds similar to Sadie to me, being a small town podcaster. Cold case. Yeah, so I do like the podcast kind of element, but I feel like it's starting to become overdone in thrillers. But it is a fast read, a whodunit, which I don't like that term. Who did it, not done it, but okay. It's a legal thriller and a suburban drama, so I wonder what city it takes place in. So it's about a rape trial, so I would say trigger warning for rape and sexual assault, it looks like. Okay, it's a young woman, one woman who is accused of a star athlete of rape, and one woman whose bruised body was pulled from the ocean 20 years ago. So it does sound interesting. This also reminds me of Beartown for the athlete part. So after the first season of her true crime podcast became an overnight sensation and set an innocent man free, Rachel Craw is now a household name and the last hope for thousands of people seeking justice. But she's used to it being recognized for her voice, not her face, which makes it all the more unsettling when she finds a note on her car windshield addressed to her begging for help. I don't think that's unsettling since it's so easy to find people online, look at the book You. Yeah, I don't really think that is that unsettling. Again, I feel like this subject of the podcasting is starting to become a common trope. And yeah, so it still sounds interesting though. So here is the book that I did end up choosing this month, and it is Atomic Love by Jenny Fields. It is a historical romance. If you're wondering how I chose it, it was already on my TBR, and if I see a book that's already on my TBR, I do add it to my box, and then when I liked but wasn't already on my TBR, I will add it to next month's box like I did for The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes. So, a quick take, this isn't your typical romance. This is a badass Cold War Russian spy romance that throws you into all the drama. So, Cold War Russian spy is really what stood out to me. I think that sounds really interesting. So, here are good to know. It is a romance. Romance, I've started to like it more and more. I just have to find more of what I like. And this era, I think I would like a romance some that time. Historical romances just seem to be more of what I'm enjoying. So this is a puzzle, so you must be putting pieces together. So that is always fun. So Forbidden Love, it has to be written properly. And the love triangle, it really, really depends for me. You have to have it angsty. And if it's not angsty, I'm not going to like it. I'm not a huge fan of love triangles. So none of these books have hit like every check mark. So we're seeing, ooh, Manhattan Project. She's lived a nondescript life in Chicago when an FBI agent taps her to help her figure out who could be leaking nuclear secrets to the Russians. Whoa. I didn't even read all this, so imagine a vintage James Bond thriller, except the hero isn't a playboy in a tux, but a savvy young woman thrown into the perilous circumstances in the gritty McCarthy era. Doesn't that sound fun? Yes, it does. So the synopsis here: Chicago, 1950. Rosalind Porter has always defied expectations. In her work as a physicist, I can never say that word, on the Manhattan Project and her passionate love affair with colleague Thomas Weaver. 5 years after the end of both, her guilt over the bomb and her heartbreak over Weaver are intertwined. She desperately misses her work in the lab, yet has almost resigned herself to a more conventional life. So, as a special agent, Charlie Zitalo wants Roz to spy on Weaver, and the FBI suspects of passing nuclear secrets to Russia. Y'all, that sounds really good. So, that is the book that I chose. We love it. So, now we have the last book on here, which is literary fiction. I don't really know the difference in literary fiction and contemporary fiction, so if y'all know, can you please tell me down below in the comments. So this is The Death of Vivek Ogee by Awakie Izzy. I really like the cover. I like the colors on it. So let's see what this is about. So this is a reflective, deeply human read, piecing together life in a Nigerian town leading up to a heartbreaking death. So I would be interested in reading this as it does take place in Nigeria, and I haven't read, I don't think, any books set in Africa, and that would be something I'm very interested in because I am interested in the cultures in Africa as I do not know much. So it is LGBTQ plus friendly. Again, awesome, and I would love to see how that is in Nigeria. I don't know if Nigeria is a country that it's legal, like legal, gay marriage is legal. I don't know if that is there. I don't know what their main religion is there. I don't know a lot. So it says teens. So teen books are hit or miss for me. I just don't like it a lot of the time. So it's sad and serious. So would I want to read that? It depends what mood I am in. So let's read what this guy said. He is the author of Friday Black. What happens to a person denied the space to be themselves? Ooh, okay. What does it look like to choose yourself? What is it to be, to exist even against a multi-faced external denial? Whoa. What can bloom when a person is enveloped in love? So it looks like we have, yeah, there's a lot of exploration of self and sexuality. There are friends or family that become, or friends that become family. There is so much. Yes, I think this sounds like a really important read. So maybe their family doesn't accept them for who they are, and they're trying to be okay with who they are. And maybe when your family disowns you, your friends become your family. I don't know. But let's see what the synopsis says. So one afternoon in a town in southeastern Nigeria, a mother opens her front door to discover her son's body wrapped in colorful fabric at her feet. I just got another theory, and it's not good. What follows is the tumultuous, I can't pronounce that, heart-wrenching story of one family's struggle to understand a child whose spirit is both gentle and mysterious. Raised by a distant father and an understanding but overprotective mother, Vivek suffers disorientating blackouts, moments of disconnection between self and surroundings. Oh, this sounds rough. As adolescence, another word I can't say, gives way to adulthood, Vivek finds solace in friendships with the warm, boisterous daughters of the Niger wives, foreign-born women married to Nigerian men. Okay, that sounds interesting. I want to know more about that. But Vivek's closest bond is with Osita, the worldly, high-spirited cousin whose teasing confidence masks a guarded private life. As their relationship deepens and Osita struggles to understand Vivek's escalating crisis, the mystery gives way to a heart-stopping act of violence in a moment of exhilarating freedom. Whoa, that sounds like it's a very important read and heart-wrenching, and I can't imagine what that I'm just really impressed right now. I want to know more. So I think this month had really good choices, and it was really hard for me to choose one. But right now I'm going to refer you guys to get a book, so you earn a book credit for every friend who joins with my referral link, and no pressure, but the first one to join earns you a set of Bookmoji pins too. So if you guys would like to join, I will have the link down below and the pinned comment, so be sure to check it out. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and you can check back on Thursday for an ASMR video. If you want to be sure you're right on time, you can click that notification bell down there and you will get a notification for when I post my videos, and I will see you then. Bye guys.